questions about any of these things, please don't hesitate to ask. And I just literally touched something, it went black. My apologies. Okay, it's back. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you all Dean Ann Lombard, who's going to talk to you today and is going to welcome you to the college.
Thank you so much, Amelia. Good morning, everyone. I have enjoyed Monday and Tuesday getting to meet some of you, getting to meet your families and your parents and your siblings. I hope your move-in went smoothly, not slowly, smoothly. And when I met with your families yesterday after the welcome session, I said, I'm really sorry about the weather. I feel kind of personally responsible for that weather. This is the first time in my entire career that it's ever rained on the first day of orientation. So I'm really disappointed. But you look like you're not worse for the wear, and I'm glad that you're here this morning and that you have chosen to come to ESF for your college education. So I was leaving my office last night a little later than I probably should have, and was really excited to see so many of you out on the quad having a good time, enjoying each other's company. So I hope that that will continue during orientation. I'm here this morning to talk to you about a few things. I'm going to introduce you to this special community that you have become a part of. I'm going to talk to you about our Division of Student Affairs, and then I'm going to talk with you about our concern for your well-being and some tips from me about how I think you can make the most of your time here. But let me start by telling you a little bit about myself. Amelia said my name is Dean Lombard, and it's my extreme pleasure to serve the college as your Dean of Students. And I am starting year 12 in that role. 11 now, going on 12 years in Syracuse and at the College of Environmental Science and Forestry. I live in the neighborhood with my 16-year-old daughter who goes to Nottingham High School. And so sometimes you might see me at places like the grocery store or the regional market, or sometimes at church. I go to church in the neighborhood. You might see me at Berry Park. Walk up and say hello. You might recognize me because there's one of me. There are lots of you, but please do let me know who you are. Introduce yourself to me. I want to hear how your experience is going, so don't hesitate to reach out. So dictionary.com defines community in the way that you can see on the screen, but I bolded the particular words because, as I said, you have joined a very special community here at ESF. And so we share common characteristics or interests, and we are distinct in some respect from the larger society. And I think that that describes us perfectly. You are committed, you are caring, you have joined a place that cares a lot about what's going on in the world, and a group of people, faculty, staff, students, who are committed to improving your world. So welcome to our community. We are so pleased you are here and have joined us. So when I was putting together this presentation, I sent an email out to our community and I said, please share with me the one word that you think best describes ESF and our sense of community. And this is what people said to me. We are unique, we are supportive, we're committed, we're passionate, we're dedicated, we're caring. And I would absolutely concur. After 11 years here, this is absolutely how I see the ESF community. So you have joined a very special place, and I know that you will leave your mark on this community through your time here. So as I said, I serve as the Dean of Students, and it is my honor to represent a strong team of professionals in our Division of Student Affairs, several of whom are along the back wall there, several of whom you've already met during orientation and will continue to meet during orientation and into this first semester. But our mission in part is to support an inclusive community by advancing student learning, well-being, and personal and professional growth through the opportunities and programs and resources that we provide in student affairs. So we have oversight for many, not all, but many of the out-of-classroom experiences and programs and resources, and I'll highlight some of those in just a few moments. But our promise to you is that we are committed to helping you create an outstanding student experience. So we can't do it for you, but we can certainly help you to create that student experience, and we are committed to making sure that your experience is a positive one. So you've met some of our staff already. Amelia Hoffman serves as our Director of Student Success and Engagement, and housed within that area is our Academic Support Services. That team of staff also work with all of our registered student organizations, including our undergraduate student government, the Mighty Oaks Student Assembly, and you will hear from, some of you have probably already met their president. Silas Cochran is one of our orientation leaders. You all will hear from him a little bit later on this week during our new student convocation. But we work with all of our registered student organizations. We host over 40 on our campus. We provide leadership development opportunities, peer tutoring, access to programming and academic coaching. That is also the team of people who has oversight for our community service program. So one of the hallmarks of the ESF student experience is your strong commitment to service and to improving our world. So you are part of a group of students who literally provide tens of thousands of hours of community service every year on campus, in Syracuse, and literally around the globe. So thank you for what you will do. That will start for all of you on Saturday when we go out into our city and county parks for our Saturday of service. We offer campus days of service every semester, and all of our student organizations, regardless of what their focus is, have some commitment to service. And then lots of our students just do that on their own because that's important to them. We have a team of people in our career services office who can help you to explore your career interests. So they can help you with securing internships. They host and help to coordinate experiences for you over the winter break and the spring break for job shadowing opportunities. They will provide career fairs each semester. They provide and coordinate graduate and professional school fairs for you. So you might be thinking, I'm only in my first year. It's kind of early for me to be thinking about my job, but I will say to you, it is never too early for you to start connecting with our career services office. And some of our team from career services is back along the wall. And so let me stop for a minute. I want to introduce the folks who are on the back wall who are here. On my right are John Turbyville and Casey Duffy, and they're part of our team in career services. John serves as our senior assistant dean and director of career services, and Casey serves as our associate director for career services. Next to Casey is Jennifer Keating, who works with our Choose Action Network. We have gotten a grant from the federal government to enhance our sexual assault prevention work, and Jennifer leads that work. Next to her is Anthony Shafalo, our coordinator of community standards, who works with our students regarding our behavioral expectations, our code of student conduct, our academic integrity expectations. Next to Anthony is one of the newest members of our team. Allie O'Mara has joined us just a few weeks ago as our coordinator of academic success, and we're very proud to have them here. Next to Allie is a face that you have seen many times now, Amelia Hoffman, our Director of Student Success and Engagement, and next to Amelia is our Director of Counseling Services, Ruth Larson. So this is not our entire team, but this is a good cross-section of our team. And then next to them, I want to introduce you to my boss, Executive Director for Strategic Initiatives, Matt Millay. He's a familiar face, too. He's been helping us a lot with helping to get our, and that's not even his regular job, but he's been helping us a lot with getting orientation ready to go. So this is a team of people that I hope you will connect with, that you will get to know well. Our jobs are to support you in your work. We have an athletics program here at ESF. We have almost a dozen teams who we support, everything from men's and women's soccer and men's and women's cross country, men's and women's track. We have a men's golf team, a men's basketball team, But we also have teams that are, at least in my world, unique to ESF that I had never seen before I got here to ESF. We have a wonderful timber sports team, men's and women's timber sports. If you have never seen a timber sports event, you are in for a real treat. What they can do with a chainsaw is both awe-inspiring and frightening. It's really, really fun, and they're really good at it. And that's our oldest student organization, our oldest athletic team, and we have a very competitive bass fishing team as well. But for those of you who are not actively participating in athletics, there are lots of opportunities still for you due to our unique relationship with Syracuse University. So I think many of you have already made your way across the street to the Barnes Center. When you walk into that brand new building, you'll see the climbing wall there. It's where all of the recreational machines are, where the workout gear is. There's a pool there, there's a sauna there. It's a lovely facility. I encourage you to take advantage of that because part of the tuition and fees that you pay help to support your access there. So take advantage of it because it's literally across the street. They host a whole slate of club sports teams which compete with other campuses and active intramural programs. Probably intramurals and club sports are one of the biggest places where students get involved outside of the classroom. So take advantage of that. Also within our Division of Student Affairs, we host 2 opportunity programs whose mission it is to get our traditionally underrepresented students connected in the STEM field. So we have the Lewis Stokes Alliance for Minority Participation, and I had the pleasure of working and meeting those students who arrived early as part of LSAMP and as part of EOP. They came back early for some summer programs, but the LSAMP program helps to increase the workforce and the number of undergraduate and graduate degrees that are awarded to populations that are historically underrepresented in STEM fields. And then our Educational Opportunity Program provides support and encouragement to students who have been academically disadvantaged or who show great promise in being successful here. We also work very closely with our colleagues in Centennial Hall. Those of you living in Centennial, which is most of you, have met that team of people. So our professional staff as well as our resident assistant staff down the hill, they can help you if you're in need of support, if you're in need of direction, you don't know where to turn, that's a great first place to look. They will also do lots of programming and activities to help create a sense of community in Centennial. And some of you might even have classes that meet in Centennial. So down in our multipurpose room, we have classes, we have study groups and others who meet. And then we also have staff in our Division of Student Affairs who primarily work to make sure that you get connected to the resources and services that you need. So if you need assistance with, and I'll talk about this in just a moment, but our Center for Disability Resources at Syracuse University, or you find yourself in crisis and you don't know where to go, the other place I'd like to point you to is 110 Bray Hall. We're right across from the financial aid office. That's what our job is to help you and support you in being successful here. Also, we host a food pantry on our campus on the ground floor of Bray Hall, which is that same building that financial aid and student affairs and the registrar and the bursar are all located on the first floor, but on the ground floor is a food pantry that our students have access to 24 hours a day through a great partnership with our university police department. So most of you here are on meal plans, so I hope that that is not something that you will experience this year, but we do know that a larger percentage than any of us would even want to think about of students across the country, college students, find themselves food insecure, and we don't want to have that for our students, so we established our food pantry a few years back. Also within our Division of Student Affairs, we have units who are specifically charged with your well-being and making sure that you're doing okay. So let me start by saying to you, we are so happy that you have chosen ESF for your college education. You are a bright group of people. You had choices about where you went, and we are thrilled that you chose to come here. And this is a tough place academically, but let me be, I hope, not the first person to say to you, you belong here. We are confident that you can do well here. You wouldn't have been admitted to ESF if you couldn't handle the academic workload and if you didn't have kind of the right point of view to do that. But you can't do well academically if you aren't taking care of your well-being. And we can't always know when you need assistance. So please don't hesitate to reach out for assistance when you need it. One of those key offices is our counseling services office. So our counseling services is designed to provide short-term, solution-focused support to help you get over a hump. It's not, some of you may already be working with a counselor or a mental health professional prior to coming to campus. They are not set up, most college counseling services are not set up to provide, weekly counseling every week for 4 years while you're here. But they can help you on a short-term basis to get over the hump or to get assistance or to help you get connected with someone in the Syracuse area who might be able to provide you more regular and ongoing support. So your access to counseling services is something that you have already paid for through our student health fee. So don't hesitate to reach out to them if you need assistance. I introduced you to Ruth. She's got 2 staff therapists who join her. They are housed in Bray Hall, right next to our main student affairs office. But a really important thing for you to know is that the counseling services phone number is answered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year by a licensed counselor. That's a service that we contract for, and we've got a great relationship with them. They help to provide information to our counseling services staff so that they can follow up as needed. So if you find yourself needing to talk to someone outside of the regular business hours, please know that that phone is always answered. Counseling services is available to all of our students, full-time, part-time, undergraduate, graduate, residential, commuter, you name it, you have access to that service. And so if you need it, please don't hesitate to use it. We do not have a health services on our campus. There are very few things that you as an ESF student aren't able to use at Syracuse University. 2 of those things are their counseling services and their health services. The third thing that you can't do is play Division I sports for Syracuse University because the NCAA doesn't like that, and we have our own sports teams. But one of the services that we cannot offer to you on campus is a health service. However, we have developed a wonderful relationship with a private medical practice just down the hill from Centennial Hall called Kraus Medical Practice. Access to Kraus is given to ESF students. You get preferred access there, but you use their services through your personal insurance. And so that's why we require ESF students to have insurance, because we don't have a health service on our campus. So they take most insurances, they take all the major insurance plans, but before you go down to Kraus, you'll want to make sure that your health insurance is usable there. Now, you are not required to use Kraus, but a lot of our students do use Kraus and are very pleased with their services. One important thing that I want to draw your attention to, and this won't be the last time you hear this, but all of you have had full-time schedules put together for you for this fall. One of the charges you will see on your bill is for the ESF Student Health Insurance Plan. You'll see that charge there every fall because we put it automatically on the bills of full-time students. Most of you probably don't need that plan. Most of you probably get your health insurance through your parents or your guardians or your family members, maybe some of you through your employment or your spouse or partner. You want to make sure before the deadline of September 30th that you go into the Haler, Fryer, Kuhn portal, they're our health insurance broker, and make sure that you sit down with your insurance card and that you waive out of the college's health insurance plan if you don't need that. Some of you will keep it and want to use it, so you can also go in and enroll proactively into that so that you get your card sooner than after the deadline. It's a good plan, low copays, low deductibles, but most of you aren't going to need that, so I want to make sure that you know that you need to do that every year to go into the portal. And it's not a phishing scam. The emails that you're getting from Haler, Fryer, and Kuhn reminding you to go into the portal and waive out of the health insurance are valid, so make sure you do that. You've got still a month to do that, but on October 1st, if you haven't waived out of the plan, you're on the hook for the insurance cost for this year, okay? And then the other important office that I want to mention that is very concerned about your well-being, and we have a wonderful partnership with, is the Syracuse University Center for Disability Resources. So if you need academic accommodations to assist you in the classroom, and many of you know what I'm talking about because you've had IEP plans through K-12 or similar, some of you might need extra time or note-taking assistance. We partner with Syracuse University to provide that service to you. So you go to their website, you establish yourself as a client there, you can upload all your documentation there, you'll be assigned a counselor, and you can even start to meet with your counselor through that portal. So if you need help establishing yourself with them, don't hesitate to let us know that, but you don't need to tell our office that. But I would encourage you, if this applies to you, that you get on that right away because accommodations are not retroactive. So you want to make sure that you get that taken care of quickly. So make sure that you are aware and aren't hesitant to reach out for those support services that can help to support your well-being. Because again, you can't be successful in the classroom if you aren't taking good care of yourself mentally and physically. So now I want to shift my focus a little bit to talk about your time and encourage you to make the most of it. So we want to encourage you to explore all that ESF has to offer, all that Syracuse University has to offer, what the city of Syracuse has to offer. Some of you might have interest in studying abroad, so really what the whole world has to offer to you. We also want to encourage you to give of your time and your talent as part of our community. And I want to remind you to be a good member of the ESF community and also of the university neighborhood. So I mentioned as I was introducing myself that I live in the neighborhood. And whenever I meet new people and I tell them what I do, without fail, the response I get from people, whether it's in the grocery store, in a club, or with my friends, or wherever it might be, oh, I just love ESF students. They helped me on this project, or they volunteered at this place, or they're my neighbor and they are so respectful. That is truly, you've got some pretty high expectations, but I'm confident that you will continue that tradition of goodwill that we have with the city of Syracuse and with the university neighborhood in particular. We want to encourage you to engage. So first and most importantly, engaging in your learning, engaging in your classroom experience. And so what does that look like? I've got some of those ideas up there. Go to class, even when it's at 8 o'clock in the morning, every single day. Sit in the front, reach out to your faculty members, make it a point to meet them, go to their office hours, go to any extra or optional class sessions. Don't hesitate to reach out for tutoring and work to get some hands-on experience. You've probably heard this from other people and you've heard this about other things, but you will get out of this experience what you are willing to put into this experience. So embrace it fully and engage in your learning. But when you're ready, we also want you to engage in life outside the classroom. So I mentioned that we host about 40 student organizations on our campus. There are almost 400 student organizations available to you through our relationship with Syracuse University. There is literally something for everyone. So we want you to get engaged in life outside the classroom when you're ready, and we don't want you to get over involved. But I will say there are years of research on college students, not just ESF students, but college students in general, that supports this notion that students who get involved are more likely to do better academically, and they graduate at higher rates. And so that's why you're here, right? To get your degree, to go out into the world. So we want to help you get connected outside the classroom, but not in a way that's too much. And Amelia mentioned a little bit ago in her presentation, our Engage Student Portal. All of our student organizations are connected there. That's where you can look to see what's going on, what events are happening, how do you connect with a student organization across the street. Syracuse University also uses Engage. Those two, our Engage and their Engage, are not connected, so you can connect yourself with both of those. And then we want you to excel. So plan early. I talked a little bit ago about engaging with career services. It's never too early to think about doing that. Seek out your academic advisors, your faculty members, key staff members who can be helpful to you, and understand the deadlines. So whether that's the deadline to waive out of the health insurance plan, the deadline to finish Spark and Track so that you can register next semester, the deadline to register for next semester, the deadline to finish your FAFSA for next year, whatever that might be, plan ahead so that you know what those deadlines are. And understand the expectations. So I've alluded a little bit to the high academic standards that we have. But again, hear me clearly. We are confident in your ability to do well here. But it's really up to you. So you need to understand what our academic integrity policy is, and we'll come into your 132 classes and talk a little bit about that soon. But you specifically need to understand what the expectations are from each of your faculty members. So you will experience some classes where you're strongly encouraged to do group work, and then you'll have other classes where you need to do all your work on your own, alone. So make sure you understand the expectations that your faculty members have for you in class so that you don't accidentally find yourself in violation of our academic integrity policy. But we also have high behavioral standards for you. So you are accountable to our Code of Student Conduct from the time that you got admitted up until the time you graduate. So even in the summer, even off campus, we have expectations for you in terms of how you will engage. And the vast majority of you will live up to or exceed those expectations. But some of the things I want to draw your attention to are our ESF Student Handbook, which contains our Code of Student Conduct. If you're living in Centennial Hall, the Centennial Hall Resident Handbook, our alcohol and other drug use policies, our sexual harassment, assault, and violence prevention policy, and any of our other policies here on campus. You are accountable to those policies. You can find them all online. And our student handbook is there. I would encourage you to, not just when you need to go to sleep at night, and it would help you, but take a look at it. It's got a lot of information in it about offices and resources on campus, but it also includes our code and our expectations for you. So do make sure that you take a look at that. Please, please, please take good care of yourself. I know it's hard to get a lot of sleep when you're starting out in college. The transition from high school and K-12, or from your gap year for some of you, to college level work is a pretty tough transition. So make sure that you are taking good care of yourself and thinking about getting enough sleep and how do you plan your time, and because you're going to want to kind of grab every opportunity, and it's really easy for your physical and mental well-being to be something that you aren't paying attention to. Ask for help when you need it. And I would even say ask for help before you need it. Part of the reason I stand in front of you here on day one is to say, here are just some of the resources that are available to you. We want to make sure that you're aware of them. Your RAs know about these resources. Your orientation leaders know about these resources. Come into Student Affairs and we'll help connect you to these resources. They're here for you, so take advantage of them. Don't just focus, though, on taking care of yourself. We also want you to take care of each other. because we are part of a community. I mentioned and introduced Jennifer Keating, who works with our Choose Action Network. Not only do they do work focused on sexual assault, dating violence, stalking prevention, but they also do work around what it means to be a bystander and how to be a good bystander. And then we also have an alcohol and drug amnesty policy. So if you find yourself in a situation where perhaps you're with a friend who has made choices that maybe ended up not being such a great choice, engaging in using alcohol or drugs, and you're afraid to call someone for help because you don't want to get in trouble for violating our alcohol and drug policy, we would rather have you call and ask for help. And that's what our amnesty policy is. Our amnesty policy says you will not get in trouble. Even if you've engaged in that, you will not get in trouble if you have someone who needs assistance. We want you to provide assistance first. So you are now a part of this special community. We are thrilled to have you here. You're going to figure out along the way what your contribution is going to be to our community and how you're going to influence. So welcome to ESL. Welcome to this place. We're thrilled you are here, and I hope you enjoy this week and that your semester gets off to a great start. Thank you. My contact information is on the screen. Feel free to take a picture of that. You can reach me directly, or you can reach out to our general help email, which is studenthelp@esf.edu, and that's our general office number. So again, thank you. Who am I introducing? And now Amelia's going to rejoin you. And some of my favorite people. All right.
There you go. Am I going and talking?
Do you want to do it?
Am I going?